knows. But it also is a great way because a lot of us have worked with the Red Cross, a lot of us have worked in not-for-profit and disaster responder groups before, and realized that the age range of 18 to 35, there weren't any volunteers. People weren't out working and building community, and the zombie metaphor seems to kind of grab that age range. And we're able to get those people out there. And
yeah, Kristen's right. I mean, we give the Red Cross and we give our volunteer organizations that we work with access to a whole demographic that they normally don't have. And so we'll sucker people in, with a cool looking armored truck and some zombie movies, and the next thing you know, they're filling sandbags for the Red Cross.
Right. Or building on Habitat for Humanity. We're actually running their own charity drive someplace. Yeah.
Exactly. Or you're moving pallets of food for somebody. So I guess as far as the last thing I wanted to say for organized stuff is, come to our blood drive. If you can't give blood, talk to somebody that can give blood. And I mean, the Red Cross goes through a lot. I was hoping you'd have a number.
No,
it's gallons.
That would require
Gallons.
but remember, 1 pint of blood does save 3 lives. I mean, that's the statistic you see on everything, and you're always thinking, oh, that's cute little slogan. It's actually really true. I mean,
yeah, they spin it through their science machine and break it into plasma and platelets and red cells, and they'll reuse that 1 pint of blood 3 different times.
And they'll do some of that here in front of you.
There is also on the flyer for the blood drive, there's an email address. If you're very limited on time on Saturday but you want to donate, send us an email with what time you want to donate, and we'll make sure that you're right around that time. We can usually get people that have an appointment in and out in about an hour.
Yeah, we schedule people in 15-minute increments between 11 and 4. So if you know you don't have anything going on between 12 and 1, give us a call and say, hook me up for 12:45. Email address is on the flyer.
If you've ever been hospitalized and needed blood, you owe somebody. So get back.
Does anyone have any questions, or do people just want us to sit down and get out of here? There you go. That's my key.
Problem solving the nuisance issue on your block. Before we get to asking if you've got some issues you want to talk about, I wanted to introduce Judy Lane, our neighborhood stabilization officer in the 15th Ward. Mike Flood from the 10th Ward was here earlier. He's gone now. But Judy, would you like to speak from there or come up here?
I'll come up.
Okay.
I want to talk about Nicksell. It kind of ties into what the zombie squad was talking about. We had the disaster in 2006, remember? And how they got the message out, where to go get the food. The National Guard was out. It took the National Guard 5 days to get to my address, and I live by Forest Park. So Nicksell is a new thing that they have where you can go online and you can receive messages by email, text, or on the website. And it's a new thing that they're pushing in the city. It's called Nicksell.com. You can get police information, and I'll pass this out.
I actually got called to do the prototype of that, so I've been getting that for about a month and a half, and I absolutely love it.
Right. So it's a new way of getting the information out to everyone. Because in 2006, you had a block where you had people with special needs, and they had a hard time identifying them. But with the Nicksell, they can get to you right away, especially if you have special needs. Like people who are on oxygen, Ameren UE would know that they need to get to them first to get them out. Like people on ventilators or whatever, get them to get help for them. So that's something that they're going to be pushing in the city. Go online, and you can pretty much let them know if you want the police information, because we had this thing with this red pickup truck that was going on. Be aware of this red pickup truck. So finally, they figured out where the red pickup truck was, and it was something like Nicksell. Okay. But now we're going to talk about problem properties. Anybody? I know nobody has a problem property. These are good lots.
Anybody have questions or have an issue they want to discuss?
I do, but really, it would have been with Mike. So I missed my opportunity.
You can do it here.
It's on, Julianne, on your block?
It's 10th floor.
Okay.
Slum guy who owns a slum building next door to me with really nice tenants. A poor family is under notice and it's just, it's a mess. There's illegal storage in the backyard, has been there a year. There's at least 7 code violations on the building, and nothing's happening. So we want to vote yes on F, but I don't, at this point, the last I heard, which was probably 2 months ago, I should not be forwarded again to Citizen Service Bureau. But I think Joe, because I copied Joe Feely on it.
Any more problem properties?
Westing and,
3890?
yeah.
I talked to the owner, and he needs to know what unit.
Is it Wyoming or
Juniata.
Juniata that you think about?
Juniata.
Yeah, okay. What unit?
Which unit?
Be the second floor west.
Yeah.
Okay, because I talked to him, his name is Mr. Noel. He had, that property had a C and D on it, it expired. And I talked to him last week, you know, to keep it from going back under.
Well, I spoke to the tenant, so I think we have an understanding if it continues, that I have no problem taking them to work with me and
Because
placing
he
them in
said
a
that
jail
he
cell.
put in a new family about 8 months ago, so he was trying to figure out if it was the new people. So,
It's been about 8 months, yeah.
yeah,
It would be
so,
two
okay,
west.
okay.
Which
So,
property is this?
3890 Juliana.
It's a 6-family on the south side, right across state.
Yeah, so I'll call him back tomorrow, let him know it's the 2 west.
And then 38, 55, 57, but the trash issues have been addressed
Yeah, but there's
and
some,
I haven't seen the behavior.
there's yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that one,
So yeah, those are the two.
Juliana?
Yeah.
so.
55,
Yeah,
57.
the property owner is incarcerated right now, he's a young man, so apparently he's been incarcerated for some tax issues and some other stuff, so. But, I've already cited him once, but the next time they just get to go to jail.
So the trash, yeah, so we're addressing the trash, but my understanding is that there are also behavioral issues having to do with children that one of the other neighbors has been calling in on. And I haven't seen the kid issues.
That's where the kids are in the alley.
There are a lot of, there's a
No,
lot
that's
of
further
traffic in
east.
that
Okay,
alley, but I think that is further east.
okay, okay. All right. All right, I'll take care, I'll look into that. Any more?
Has it been decided when we're gonna go down to once a week for regular trash pickup?
No, it hasn't been decided.
Not until the recycling dumpsters are placed. And they're placing the recycling dumpsters in Ward 8 right now, and then they said they were gonna move to 15. And that was last week, but they haven't given me a specific date and time. I think their target is the expiration of the pilot recycling program, which I think is like November 30th, or something like that. So they're hoping to have everything in place because you're used to recycling. So, and that's been a little bumpy because I've heard they've been removing some regular dumpsters as, property owners place or contract with a private company. So that's, if for some reason your trash receptacle just disappears in the middle of the night, you need to call me, okay? And because these private entities, they're gonna lock, you're not gonna be able to get into that dumpster. So you don't want your dumpster to disappear and then a private contractor show up with a locked receptacle. I reminded refuse that you're serving 2 blocks. So let's say you have rental units on Arsenal, you still have Hartford to serve, and vice versa. So there are 2, the alley is shared. and there are 2 blocks that the receptacles serve. So I've not heard back from them, and I have not had any more complaints.
And what the other woman is speaking of, we have a property owner that owns several multi-families in the ward. So when they opted out, they didn't want to pay the $11 per unit or whatever. So they said, we're going to go with a private contractor. So what Refuge did, they came and just took the city dumpsters away, you know, and the people who lived near there, you know, it was like, well, they can go down the alley or whatever, but it's unfair to the people. So we talked to Refuge, and so they're bringing the dumpsters back, you know, for the residents, you know, because with this being a new thing, you know, it's like a trial and error. They didn't think about, you know, the other side, you know, okay, so they have to bring the dumpsters back. So that's something that we can still it's been wild, okay?
You know, I don't know. I really don't. You're gonna, the blue recycling dumpster.
It was full of trash.
Okay, yeah, so, well, that's sad. So
It has
regular.
little paper written stickers on them.
Normally, your private company has a name on it, because like Midwest Waste Management, you'll see some kind of name on it. Our recycling dumpsters are gonna look like recycling dumpsters, and they're gonna tell you with single stream pictures of the different items you can actually place in the dumpster. With a special top, with a special, you know, with a special locked top, so that there are slats for you to dump into, so that we can avoid the dumpster divers from taking those items.
Those commercial dumpsters, a lot of them are blue, but they look like the commercial dumpsters that anybody who owns a retail business in the city has to have their own dumpsters, right, Ron? I mean, it's like, it's law. So when I have my store up on Grand, I have my own dumpster, and stores in Morganford have them. So you can tell the difference, though. Like Jennifer said, they have a name on them.
Yeah, usually Waste Management, Eagle, or Metropolitan. And, you know, what we're gonna really run into too is there's an ordinance of when these dumpsters can be picked up. So I am just really excited about them putting commercial dumpsters in the residential neighborhoods, so it'll be.
Oh, and that's gonna be another problem too, when they pick up, you know, they're gonna come.
Because I anticipate being swamped with complaints on these dumpsters being picked up. Because if anybody's heard a commercial container being picked up, they're really not very quiet about it. So, and it's.
Well, you guys pick up 6:30 in our neighborhood.
Well, it's, the prohibited hours is between 8 and 6, so they're not supposed to pick up within 200 feet of a residence between 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning.
They're before 8.
Well, no.
No, 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Oh,
They could come after, they could come after 6 a.m.
And please, I just want to say this because I've already got a ton of them. Do not call me and say they picked up at 5:59 in the morning, because I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I'm going to inactivate. All right? That means that I'm not going out and saying, hey guys, you were there a minute early. All right? Believe me, I've probably got 20 calls in the last 2 weeks on people calling about them picking up 5 minutes early. You know, I mean, literally, the guy called me the other day and was just ready to come through the line and choke me, because I told him, I said, sir, 5:59, and he goes, well, my clock says. So you know what? You know, you got to have a little leeway there. So please, you know.
So are all the like flats going to have private stuff then?
No, if the property owner sent in and said, I want to use my private trash haul service, then they could opt out.
Because then, and then you said we're just going to have pickup one day a week?
Ultimately, we'll have
one trash day a week.
Right.
But then,
Eventually,
well,
not
because
right
I'm
now.
just saying, because we have 2 dumpsters in our alley.
Right.
Which has 4, well, that place is, that dump's empty on the corner for right now. And then there's 3 houses. There's a 12-family apartment building, 2 4-family flats, and another duplex next to that all use those 2 dumpsters, and I'm thinking we're
Well,
only
and another thing
one day a
too.
week?
Well, and one thing is also we have what they call 600 gallons, all right, which are larger containers, and that may be something that Refuge, once we go to 1 week, 1 day a week, that maybe we need to have Refuge come into the alleys and look and say, hey, look, this is not an adequate container for what's going in